Year delay due to the pandemic, Top Gun Maverick finally hit the big screen over the holiday weekend, and audiences around the globe were eager to head to theaters. It raked in more than $160 million just in the U.S. over the long weekend, $300 million worldwide, shattering records. Joining us now in an exchange exclusive is one of the men behind the movie, producer and Skydance CEO David Ellison, along with our own Julia Borston. Julia, I'll hand it over to you guys. Just a note that everyone that I know who saw it raved about it.
Yes, indeed. This is a movie that had a 99% positive audience score on Rotten Tomatoes and has been a huge financial success for Paramount and also for David Ellison and Skydance Media. David, thank you so much for joining us today in what is your first TV interview after over a decade in this business. We're very glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's an absolute privilege to be here.
So, David, I want to start off with the Top Gun Maverick numbers. Paramount just updated the box office again, even higher than they had anticipated even yesterday. How does the performance of this movie that you've worked on for a decade change your outlook on what types of movies you want to invest in going forward and what your expectations are for the box office?
So look, we could not be more thrilled, more excited with the performance of Top Gun Maverick this weekend. And just want to start by thanking our incredible partners with Tom Cruise, Jerry Bruckheimer, Joe Kosinski. And I think what Top Gun showed is that with the right movie, people want to have an escape. They want to have a good time at the movies. And, we're really thrilled that we were able to deliver that to audiences this weekend.
I think it's interesting, David, that you've also made some of the biggest movies on Netflix, even in Amazon. You did The Old Guard and Adam Project. And you also have a first look deal with Apple Films. Explain to us your strategy and your perspective on what types of films should go on which platforms.
So Skydance, as you said, we started the company 12 years ago. We're a diversified media company with 5 divisions across film, television, animation, interactive, and the most recent one, Skydance Sports. And for us, we really believe in the core thematic that quality is always the best business plan. And, and we're big believers in consumer choice. So for us, it's always a case-by-case basis on where we think that particular story can reach the broadest audience. And as you said, we're incredibly proud that we've released 3 movies with Netflix. All of them debuted in the top 10. We had The Tomorrow War and Without Remorse last year with Amazon. And we now have an a deal we're really excited about with Apple, who have been phenomenal partners to us. And we have our first animated movie, Luck, coming out this August in partnership with John Lasseter and Holly Edward. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But so big picture, though, do you think audiences are going to continue to go to the theater, or do you think that Top Gun is going to be a little bit more of an aberration and the numbers may drop below what we saw in 2019 in terms of summer box office?
I think we're definitely still recovering from the pandemic, but what I hope Top Gun helped prove this weekend is that for the right movie, audiences will really come back to the theater. They want to see stories like Top Gun on the biggest screen possible. There's no better place to see this movie than on an IMAX screen. But I also think, the direct-to-consumer business has definitively changed consumer behavior. And I think above everything else, audiences are really going to want choice, and that people are going to be very selective about what movies they want to go to theatrically and what they want to see at home. And from our perspective, we're a diversified company, and we love being able to be a content engine that can power the overall ecosystem around us.
So in terms of that streaming ecosystem, you have experience with a lot of these different companies. Are you concerned about a contraction in the number of subscribers that Netflix raised a lot of red flags about? Are you worried about that for Netflix? Could things get even worse? And what about for the industry as a whole?
So we're big believers in the direct-to-consumer business. We're big believers in Netflix. We've been partners with them since they started in the original content business. Grace and Frankie, which we just premiered the series finale last month, is their longest running show in the history of their network. And I think there's also a lot of macroeconomics at play. When you look at, you guys have been talking about this, the rising, inflation, rising interest rates, mortgage rates going up. I think there are some larger macroeconomics that are definitely contributing. But when you typically look at the entertainment business, it's always been counter-cyclical. And, whether it's your streaming service or whether it's a movie in the theater, it's still one of the most cost-effective forms of entertainment. And as I think Top Gun proved this weekend, people really need an escape right now with everything going on in the world.